all ready now to start decorating. And as you can see, I've already started because the right hand side is the same as left. So you can see it finished in a short amount of time. So I've used a digital kit from Knitwits called Fabusaurus. So this will be the cover. So I've just laid up all the images on top of some backing papers and just cut it. It's actually flat, but it looks fantastic. Loving these little dinosaurs. So I'll finish off with the cover later on, but let's get to the pages first. So to start off with, I want to line my pouch. So to do that, I've cut some paper down to about 7 3/4 by 3.5, and then from the sheet I've also got a little 1-inch strip which is going to go down the middle. So let's add that first. So that's just going to hide here. And when I do the pouch, I use my glue rather than double-sided because what we're going to do is slide it in. So I'll make sure I get right up to this left-hand corner and this right-hand corner because we want to make sure it's stuck down. Lift my pouch, and this is why I haven't used double-sided, because I wanted to fit and slide in here and stick it all down. So the length doesn't really matter too much, just enough that you can get it slid under so when you lift it you can't see behind there. And again, same size piece over into this corner. So this bit is quite fiddly, but it does give a nice little finish. It hides the half-inch strips as well. Here we are. And just centralize it. And you can get your bone folder tucked under there as well to get it all pressed down. So we have our album lined now. So we're going to do our waterfall pieces. Now all the waterfall pieces are exactly the same size, be them here or here. And they are the same length as our photo mats, so it's 6 1/4 by 1 7/8. Now if you've got some directional papers, it's quite nice to get them, like these stripes, flowing. So I start at the bottom and work up, so I can keep my pattern going. Normally I would tape, but just for speed, because there's so much sticking down now, I'm just going to glue. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to put some coordinating paper. Now this is still the same size. So all these strips are all cut same size, so it's really, really quick. And the last one. There we are. And now you can see all the stripes just follow through the waterfall. I knew there was one more somewhere. So when I'm doing my mat and layers, basically what I'm doing is measuring the black space and just going down 1/4 inch. So our belly bands were 1 1/4 inch wide, so 1/4 inch less is 1 inch. So my decorative strip is 1 inch. I think I cut these at 3.5 inches, but like I said, this is all up to you. Depends how high you want the images to go. So later on I'm going to put a topper just to hide that bit, so I'll cut off the black bits later on. So now I'm going to work inside, and I've got like a strip here and a strip here, like an L shape. So what I've done is I've cut a strip in one paper this way and the same paper in a different colorway to go up, so it makes like a patchwork L shape. So again, this is 6.25 wide. This is 6.25 wide, high. This is a fraction under 2 inches wide, so it's probably 1 7/8, and this is 1.5. So our page was 6.5 long, so that's why that's 6.25. Our photomat is 6.25. So I say the measurements repeat a lot in this, so it's really, really quick and easy to measure and stick. So I like keeping that little black spacing between all my papers. Up to you how you decorate it. Now this page, the measurements again exactly the same sizes, so I just repeat cut a lot in one go, enough to make both sides actually, and that's all I've done is alternated where they go. So here's page 2, and I'm going to open it up, and you guessed it's the same again. But that's all I'm showing you here is the basic decorating. Of course you can add more pockets and pouches here. Here's a good place to do it because there's space between the pouch and the flap when it's shut. So if you wanted to add extra pockets, here's the space to do that. And there we go. All our pages are now decorated there. Just the pocket to go. So to make the pocket, let's just, I don't need to open the waterfall, just need to open the flaps. I've got some dinosaur paper. So again, I've just measured across and it was 6.5. So it's 6.25 wide for the paper and it was 5 high. So I've done 4.75 for the paper. So let's go back here. But before doing the layer, I've taken my corner rounder. So I've taken my large corner and over here, and I've cut the corners. So here's my 4.75 by 6.25. I'm going to take my medium corner punch and round off the corners. Let's get that a bit better. There we are. And that'll just give a little bit of extra design. Centralize it there, and then I've gotten for some spotty paper to go underneath. Actually, I've cut that a bit too short. I'll have to cut it again, and because it should have been 3.25, and I've cut it at 2.75. 3.25. There we are, that's better. So I'll go on the front of our pocket. And so this inside bit, again, is 6 1/4 wide. And I wanted to go from my score line down and into my pocket, so it tucks under there. So I've gone for 5 1/2 inches long. So this is going to line your inside pocket. And let's just do the inside of the flap. So it's the same size as this one. Again, I've rounded the corner. And there you have all your mats and layers done. The only thing you need to think about is how you're going to keep this pouch closed. Are you just going to leave it as it is, or do some sort of tie? So I think what I'll do for here is I'll make some buttons. Actually, I think dino fun, yeah, on the bottom and a dinosaur on top, and then add some string to it. Now I use 3D glue gel to do this, so I won't stick it down now. But it's a case of putting your glue gel blob, your silicone glue there, putting your button in, put your ribbon or string in, making sure it's long enough to wrap around, and you put your glue gel on top, and that way then you've got some space between the flap and the button to wrap up. So the way I made these buttons was I took my circle punch and I cut 3 black circles out of the waist card, and I glued them together. Like that, just to give it some more strength. And I cut, you could cut out with your designer paper, or in this case I've just got one of the circle images. Turn my punch upside down, cut my image out, and glue it on, and that way I've got a matching button for my papers. So like I said, I'll do a figure 8 with plenty of string to go round and round and round there. So here's one to go there. And that's all I need now is to attach the covers. Attach a 1-inch strip to the spine. And yeah, it's this way round. Make sure I'm going right into the corners because I don't want it lifting. Just double check. Yep, vines on top, plaid underneath. And there we have it. As you can see, it's quite a chunky album. It's got that really thick center for the pouch, so you can add extra photos and everything. The only thing I got left to do is to decide on a couple of motifs to go there, and because you've got this 1/4 inch difference between the photo and the mat, you could just take your pen and add some Nice little doodles, which is nice for the children's ones. Although I've done on a few adult albums as well, and it looks great. I just go, and if I get wobbly, I stop, do a little dot, and carry on. This is one of those cases where the wobbly you are, the better it looks. And there we go. A way to decorate the album. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you managed to follow everyone. And looking forward to see what you can do.